self-proclaimed super wealthy guru who was talking about how he could take your girl because he has so much money, and if you make less than 10K a month, you shouldn't go to the gym. You're a fucking idiot if you go to the gym. It was just really embarrassing stuff, and I was just pointing out how silly and stupid all of it was, just making fun of him. And he didn't take too kindly to it, so he put on his extra small big boy pants and said, "Alright, bub, so you want to tussle with the lack of muscle? I'll challenge you to a fight." So he made a fight declaration to me to, like, box me. And this is the main reason I'm talking about this goober again. When you challenge someone to a fight because they made jokes about you, I feel like you lose on the spot because all you're showing is that the jokes hurt your feelings. They got under your skin. So now you're coping with this defense mechanism of, I'll beat you in a fight because of what you said. And I feel like that's just the ultimate fucking L. Now, let's walk through this hypothetical. Let's say I took up the malnourished Martian on his fight offer, and he beats my ass. He brutalizes me somehow. He takes his McLaren out, and he's like, "Get a load of this, tough guy," and he starts wailing on me. What does that change about everything I've said about him? It's all still the truth. All the jokes are still applicable. It's just never fully computed with me, because it always comes across as even whinier and more pathetic, at least in my eyes. And I'm sure the reason he's doing it is just for the sake of soaking up as much attention as possible. He makes it very clear in the beginning of the video that he's doing all of this for views, so I have no doubt that's the play. But what if I was to accept his offer? I feel like that would be his legitimate worst nightmare, because I am 100% sure he's never thrown a punch in his life, not even in his dreams, because his bones would shatter. And let's not forget, I do keep that big iron on me. And these pythons, they don't play nice. But being in great shape doesn't correlate to being a great fighter. So who knows, maybe this guy absolutely could slap me around in a physical fight. But we won't find out because I don't plan on accepting the offer regardless.
It was by this guy Penguins, whatever his name is.
Brother, you have the video up on the screen. What do you mean Penguins, whatever his name is? You could have just opened your eyes. Are you too wealthy to just read? Can you read? It's Penguin Z0.
He was talking a bunch of crap about my video. So we're going to respond. This is my reaction. Okay, we're not going to get heated in this. I'm not really massively triggered. I just want to take advantage of the views. So we're going to get right into this.
Immediately, this little weasel's already lying. I wasn't talking crap about his videos. I was talking shit about his videos.
I don't only own a McLaren. I used to have a 570. Yes, that was white. If you followed me for a while, you know this. It's a convertible drop top. Okay, had that car, sold it, got a yellow Maserati, then got bored, and I was like, I gotta get another McLaren. So I have a McLaren, a Maserati gift, one of 5, by the way, which costs way more than this entire fucking YouTube channel address. And then...
Man, he's really putting that egg on my face right now. I look real silly. This guy means business. He's got a lot of expensive cars. Holy shit. And he sets the record straight. The McLaren isn't rented. He showed the keys. And then even mentioned that he puts his Instagram sticker on the back. So that's, I'd prefer if he just rented it. You put your fucking Instagram handle as a sticker on the back of your McLaren, it's already worthless now. You've ruined it.
I literally post this thing all around. I have my Instagram sticker on the back. People have seen the videos all over. You can't rent that every single day. Okay, so this part pisses me off because he says the name wrong like 8 times in a row. It's not McLaren, it's McLaren. Okay, so that's how we know this guy doesn't really have a lot of status. He doesn't understand these things.
Well, you can't argue with him there. That is a bulletproof case he's presented. I wasn't pronouncing it to his liking. I wasn't saying McLaren, though. I was just saying it fast. McLaren, 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 McLaren. Like, it's not a hard word to pronounce. I don't know why he's trying to nitpick that. But anyway, I don't need to go through this with a fine-tooth comb. I'll show you the creme de la creme here. I'll give you the climax where he mentions the boxing match with me.
The funny part is that I don't need to be in shape. And you know what? I'm going to make this statement for this one. Do a boxing match with him because he does not. I'll box this guy. I'll do something with him because I guarantee you he can't outrun me in a mile. Okay? I can still, to this very day, with the amount of times that I don't work out, I can still run a 6-minute mile. Maybe 5.5-minute mile.
Whoa, stand back. We got ace athlete out here who could beat me in a race. Which he absolutely could. I have no doubt about that. I can count on 2 fingers the people I can beat in a foot race. 1, a toddler that hasn't learned to walk yet, so he can only crawl. And 2, a 90-year-old that's using a walker. Everything else is going to be a close match. Though I don't know what running has to do with boxing. The two don't really correlate. They're very different. But anyway, the boxing offer. This is what I'm saying. I find that to just be completely worthless Like, that has nothing to do with anything I was saying at all. If I was making the claim that I could beat his ass, then that boxing challenge holds a lot of water. Then that holds a lot of weight. I was just making fun of him. I've just always said, like, if you challenge someone to a fight because they hurt your feelings, that's an embarrassing look for you. It'd be a very different story if I was the one instigating, like, oh man, this guy, I'd beat his ass all over the place. I'd beat him like a drum. Then him challenge me to a fight's like, okay, he's stepping up. Now, am I gonna follow through on what I was saying? And then it's on me, and then I look like a bitch if I don't. And I feel like that's not a super hot take, because usually it's a fight fire with fire. So if you're getting insulted, or you feel insulted because of the jokes, you insult back or make jokes back. And that's the accepted battle terms. For an example, Uwe Boll, terrible director, used to make a lot of awful films, but his big shtick that made him a legendary clown is he would challenge his harshest critics to boxing matches. Critics that insulted his movies, he would challenge to a boxing match and became an absolute laughingstock, even though somebody once accepted it and lost. Uwe Boll was still the bigger joke, and in fact was even a larger joke after winning against this critic. He didn't look tougher, he looked even stupider. It's just one of those things where when you get offended and your defense is, I'll fight you for it, I just feel like it's a bad look.
If I don't go to the gym, that doesn't mean I'm insecure. It means that I'm actually more confident in my body. I'm very talented in other areas. I don't need to have big muscles to be good or athletic at things, right? A lot of the things that we challenge ourselves with that we think that we can't achieve are all up here. It really has not a lot to do with physical. I'm a marketer. I don't need to be massively fit, okay? I like to have all my stuff up here. Doesn't mean I have to go to the gym and be this muscle maniac. That this everybody's have their own preference. I think that it's a waste of time. I think it's a mounds of insecurity.
This is the section where I was talking about his shaming of people that go to the gym and calling them fucking idiots for it. So he's immediately going off the rails into, like, lecture douchebag mode, where he's like, well, actually, a lot of the obstacles that you encounter are mental, not physical. Like, that has nothing to do with anything right now. You're fighting some fucking ghosts. That doesn't matter. The whole point was, I even mentioned, if you're confident in your body, that's great. Why are you shaming people that want to look different than you do? You shitting on people who go to the gym, insinuating that they're poor and have no right to be there unless they're making more than $10,000 a month, comes across as bitter, delusional, and insecure. And for some reason he tries to flip that around by saying, well, no, actually going to the gym portrays insecurity. Like, the delusion is almost impressive. You're not even making any good points here. You're not even defending your stance very well. No one's forcing you to go to the gym. No one's twisting your arm like, hey, listen, Buster, get your ass in the gym. You don't have to. No one's making you. But why are you shitting on people that do? It's not a waste of time at all. It's not even a huge time commitment to get in good shape. An hour a day and then changing your diet around to make your health better? Like, it's not even this huge detriment that's going to lead to them being broke or anything. It's just absolute nonsense from a guy who I'm certain has never picked up anything heavy in his life.
Because if you look at a person who lifts and a person who doesn't lift but has a lot of skill sets and has high intellect, the guy with a lot of intellect, well, with a lot of path and purpose and skill sets, it's gonna win. Just because you can lift things doesn't mean you're smart. It just means that you can just lift shit. I mean, it's like...
So much useless drivel and cope for why he doesn't lift. You can do both here, dummy. You can lift and still be highly intellectual. Even if being in great shape isn't necessary for the skill set for your career path, it's still probably worth doing because it's not a massive time investment for it. Lifting occasionally and eating better is not somehow going to ruin your chance of success and lead to you being broke and unable to find a career path that makes more than 10K a month or whatever the fuck you're talking about. This is just all mental gymnastics to justify you personally not wanting to go to the gym. Just don't. But I don't understand the point in shitting in people who do. It's just so weird.
There's no excuse to why you can't make 10K a month. And honestly, life doesn't really start until $30,000 a month. I make a bunch of videos about this.
I know a lot of people think this guy's rage baiting or playing a character, but I have good reason to believe that he is completely genuine. From everything I've seen from him, this really does seem to be the way he views the world. He proudly proclaims that life doesn't start till you're making 30K a month, and that there's absolutely no excuse for somehow making less than 10K a month. This is a guy who lost touch with reality long ago.
It's not what I'm talking about as far as protected, not about the physicality. It's about the fact of the matter that she needs to feel safe and protected in a nice home with a good financial situation, be able to raise kids and go out with her friends and still be the woman that she wants to be and have her own path and purpose. It's not about the physicality, okay? And also, if you make enough money, you get a security kit, okay? Now, I don't have one, but all I'm saying there is that you use money to give you extra freedom.
So he made a point to say that if you're not making 6 figures a year, you need to break up with your girlfriend right now because he'll probably fucking steal her from you because he has more money, which means he can protect her and provide for her better than you can. He explains that the protecting thing wasn't about physicality, like physically being able to defend her from harm. It was being able to give her like a big house and shelter and financial freedom to spend money to go out with her friends and raise a kid. Now, I live in the real world where you don't need 6 figures to be able to provide a safe household like that to afford those kind of good things. But he's out there in fucking Narnia, Fantasyland, where apparently you need 6 figures for that. But regardless, what really stands out to me is his last claim, where when you're making a lot of money, you get a security team. That was a huge red flag. That sounded the alarms, the sirens blared that this guy is most likely a fraud and pretending he is fake. We, at our warehouse, actually did look into hiring a full-time security team for the property. It is an outrageous expense. From all of the research I've done on his media company, I can neither confirm nor deny if his claims are accurate about it generating 9 figures for his clients. The only place that's spouting those numbers are his websites, and he has fucking 3 of them. One of them hasn't been maintained in the last 3 years. All it does is drip feed fanfic about his upbringing, as well as 404 when you try and look up anything else about it. And then underneath the documentary he made where he sucks his own dick, it's just this giant white page, just this void of emptiness. So there's no good information there, but on his other 2 websites, he does have claims that it's 9-figure generating. But as he mentions in his response, that doesn't mean he's worth 9 figures. From all of the numbers I can find online, and I always take these with a grain of salt, his net worth is between $3 to $6 million. If those numbers are even close to accurate, he himself couldn't afford a full-time security team. He lives where I do, in Florida. If you wanted to hire just one full-time bodyguard for a property or whatever, you are looking at an expense of roughly $150K for one person. That's not even a full team. He would run out of money in like 2 years, perhaps. So, it, to me, seems like he has no fucking clue what he's talking about. He's making it sound like this is a common purchase people start making when they start getting a lot of money, when it is not. This is something that's reserved only for, like, the highest income individuals or actual large businesses. To me, this really just feels like he's pretending. And making more than 10K a month doesn't enable you to magically protect her better.
If you see how he edits the video right there, he trimmed it because he knew what he was about to say was stupid. That's the only time where he trimmed the video, where he cut it. Because he knows that he was about to say that it's not important to make 10K a month when I know damn well with 12 million subscribers, he makes more than $10,000 a month. It's hypocritical for him to say that because he has things behind him right now that, from what I can see, they're not cheap things.
This is a big gotcha moment from him here. An astute observation, he noticed a cut, but then falsely claims it's the only one I made. Bro, I make cuts in videos. This isn't all just one take. Sometimes I actually do get videos in just like one full fucking take, but usually I don't. I'll fumble words, and that's when it gets cut, and I'll go back and explain things differently, say something else entirely. It's all very normal. I actually just did it. I'm not sure if you noticed. It's not uncommon. In the live stream, I can't do that, so yeah, all of that's one take. But, I mean, you're in the space, right? Like, you have to know how video editing works and video making. I don't know why he's trying to catch me on a cut and assuming that I was about to say that making 10K a month isn't important. And it's also not hypocritical, either, if I was to make that point. You don't need to be making 10K a month to be happy. You just simply don't. Your whole personality is money. I lived the majority of my life without even imagining $10,000 a month, and I was happy then too. Just as happy then as I am now. It's not a necessary, absolute must-have thing, and you're not a failure if you don't get $10,000 a month. Contrary to the delusion that you're fucking encumbered by, you don't need 30K a month to start living. You don't. No, like, I can't believe anyone actually thinks that way. What an outrageous claim to make. So, I wasn't going to say that, but I'll say it now. You don't need 10K a month in order to go to the gym, to have a loving relationship, to provide for your girlfriend, protect her, have a happy life, have happy kids. You don't ever need to breach 10K a month to reach that level.
It's not a bad spot. I don't need a massive house with 18 fucking bedrooms with nobody to vacate them. That's a stupid financial investment, okay? The car is not, because the car is for marketing. The car is something I enjoy. Houses are stationary. They don't move. Cars move, and I have fun with the wind in my face.
Finally, something reasonable here. I pointed out that his house tour is a very nice spot, but it's not a mega mansion, which confused me because he's all about flexing his cars, for example. And he defended it by saying that it's a nice spot, but he doesn't need a big house. He doesn't want a huge mansion. It'd be a bad investment for him financially. He doesn't want a lot of eyes on him. And all of that makes sense. Completely agree. You don't need a huge house or anything like that. But then why doesn't that same line of logic apply to your McLaren and your supercars, your extremely expensive cars? He tries to say that the cars are for marketing. Why? Because you slap your Instagram handle on the back of one of them? I'm just gonna hit you with the cold water and give you the truth. There has never been a single living, breathing human being that has seen a car with an Instagram handle on it that thought to themselves, wow, that piqued my interest. I can't wait to check out that Instagram account of that cool guy driving that car. 100% of the time, people write you off as driving a cringe-mobile. That is the worst marketing. It's like anti-marketing. It makes people laugh at you. But regardless, with the house, you're right. You don't need a big house. Same way you didn't need those expensive cars. But you mentioned that you have fun with them. Well, I'd actually understand if you did have a mega mansion because it'd fall in line with what you were just talking about, where guys who don't make 6 figures a month need to break up with their girlfriends because they can't protect and provide. If you had a big house, you would be providing for your girlfriend, right? You mentioned that you have a girlfriend. I imagine she lives with you. You mentioned people live with you. Wouldn't getting a huge house pretty much be exactly what you preach? You're giving her a great place to be protected in, provided, afforded luxuries, raise a kid in. Like, that falls more in line with what you're saying than owning these worthless supercars. Like, that feels like it should be so much further down the list of priorities for your money. Now, I completely agree, you don't need a big house, but what you're not recognizing is that the way you're living your life in terms of, like, your house is exactly what I and everyone else with a brain is saying. That you don't need 30K a month to live a happy life. You don't need 30K a month to start living, as you claim. You are in a house right now with your girlfriend, whoever else, that people could afford without 30K a month, and you are happy. And I imagine they are happy as well. So the life you are currently living contradicts the one that you are preaching about. You are living a lifestyle that is not 30K a month. You are living something that people can live right now without even coming close to that. And yet you're shitting on them if they don't reach it, and shaming them for not making that kind of money. It's hypocritical, I would argue. I just wanted to mention that because I found it to be the most interesting component here. I ended up going through more of the video here than I planned on. I just found the whole thing to be just kind of fascinating in a way, so I just wanted to talk about it a little bit, and that's about it. So, yeah.
Don't come with a pink one.
Pink one? What are you, a girl? What are you, a lady? That's a great color.
Who are you trying to justify this?
I'm trying to tell the alpha man who's watching this beginning part.
No one watches us.
Pink is a manly color.
It's a lie. We're all dead.
Hello and welcome to this episode of Trash Taste. I'm your host for today, Gant, and once again joining me are the boys.
Play the
Now.
80s intro.
Playing now. Allier intro.
Is pink a manly color? I guess we're starting on that fucking topic.
Why? Why is this the topic?
This is the AI generated topic
Yes.
that
Oh
we
my God.
started
Yes
for the week.
is the answer.
Yes, hello AI generated.
Yes is the
companion.
AI
hold on,
answer,
hold on. No,
and
I'm
I will
gonna-
tell you exactly why that is the case.
I'm Googling best podcast topics right now. Let's see what comes up. Best podcast topics.
Well, we should do an episode where it's completely AI generated, actually, because I was actually having a play with ChatGPT the other day.
Yeah.
Which is like the newest kind of like AI I don't know if it's open source, but it's like available to the public.
Right.
Yeah.
And it's basically by OpenAI, which is a company that was founded by Elon Musk. So, you know,
The megalomaniac himself did it again.
the real life Batman villain, Elon Musk.
Yeah.
It is scarily good. It is actually kind of terrifying, and
Well, you know, when you say that, I think back to it, and I think about all the videos I've watched where there's Skyrim NPC behavior. I
Yeah.
think, are we
Yeah.
really that hard to emulate? I don't think we're that hard to emulate being human. We're pretty fucking
Speak
dumb.
for yourself.
As a high IQ person,
yeah.
life is meaning. No, I mean, like,
As a Rick and
is it
Morty.
hard
Yeah.
to seem somewhat human if you feed it enough books and shit?
Well,
know.
I
Well, I mean,
don't know.
isn't that the whole point of like the Turing test?
Yeah,
I
yeah.
don't know.
Like, well, I mean, we're all like.
Also,
we're
by the way, I would like to talk about kids programming as well. Completely unrelated to my Google search.
Wait, what?
That was one of the recommended topics for a podcast. Kids programming.
Kids programming.
Kids programming. I just think the absolute fucking state of kids programming is
Please,
an abomination.
please indulge us in what
I'm sorry.
the state of kids
I
programming.
don't watch YouTube Kids. Actually, thank you very much.
I get pissed off on YouTube when it tells me it's for kids, and I'm like, this is clearly not for kids.
Was
As
that?
if I'm trying
Hold
to
on.
justify it to myself.
Was that? Hold on. Pause. Was that really the top?
Oh, that was one of
podca-
them. Yeah. So here's what they recommended talking
No,
about.
I know the top podcast.
What?
Q&A.
Is
What?
Fortnite actually overrated?
So
Let's discuss.
Let us discuss.
podcast topic ideas
Yeah,
are Q&A. So we should do that. You should
questions
ask-
and
you should
answers?
ask me a question. and
Yeah.
answer.
Okay.
And I'll ask you a question. and
Sure.
hopefully you'll answer.
Our entire podcast is a question.
Yeah,
and
isn't
answer.
that?
Paranormal.
Do you have good
We've
taste
done
in
that.
food? No.
We've
Yeah.
done paranormal.
We've done paranormal.
True
Yeah.
crime. We spoke about that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Personal finance. I'm not good at it.
Personal finance. Oh, what a riveting topic.
We should do this one. Guided meditations. I think we should do that.
What do you mean?
Like, we should guide the viewers how to meditate.
do you meditate?
Fuck no. Like, I don't have to be a singer to judge singing, right?
As probably the only person here that has actually meditated.
Yeah.
It's not that hard. just sit in it. You just-
Kids programming, time specific, and finally, event planning.
event planning.
Event planning.
That sounds like a
heckin'
job.
love event planning, guys.
I heckin' love planning events.
I just want to plan events. Like birthday parties.
I feel like that list
Funerals,
was
you tell
put
me.
together by someone who's never done or watched a podcast.
Again, so that was probably written by a human being.
that was probably
And-
written by AI.
And like the AI would probably make more interesting AI topics.
Right.
You know what
Probably.
I mean?
Yeah.
So is it really that hard to emulate human beings?
I don't know. I guess we'll
Question.
test it out on a
Hopefully you'll give me an
future.
Yeah.
I guess we'll test it out on a future episode. But no, like I was playing around with ChatGPT.
Yeah.
And like I think the people because our entire fucking lives are now run by AI, simply because I started looking into ChatGPT. Now my entire recommended on YouTube is all
my
ChatGPT,
God.
just because that's what YouTube thinks that
AI
the
is
human,
recommending you
wants to
AI.
watch. Yeah, and it's actually like terrifying for, I think, programmers right now, software engineers. Like the amount, like ChatGPT as a resource, not just like it's kind of like an all-encompassing AI. You can ask it like scarily like human questions, and it will like literally type out an entire essay. It can do your homework for you.
Yeah.
If you type out like the right prompts and everything like that. I tested it out, and I typed in, can you write a Gigux style review of Full Metal Alchemist, right? And
Yeah.
that is around 10 minutes long, right?
Right.
And at first, the first iteration, it types it out, and it's like a kind of like generic review.
Sure.
And then I was like, oh, try adding like a few jokes here and there. Try referring to this. Try referring to that. This actually fucking freaked me out, right? Because it started adding jokes. You know, like if you're familiar with my content, sometimes I do like little skits where like some guy shouts in the background and stuff like
Yeah.
that. ChatGPT added that to the script. I was like, what the actual fuck? This is
You're predictable.
my job is done. My job is actually done. Like it's this. If an AI can like take my style of video.
What's this?
Okay, let's settle this once and for all. Who's the sexiest Overwatch waifu? That's such an easy one.
It's Widowmaker. But in terms of waifu, I would probably say, Mercy.
It's gotta be DVA. Who wouldn't want a badass gamer girlfriend? It's enough to make any weeb weak in the knees.
She's nice and all, but she's probably a degenerate gamer who doesn't even shower and eats junk food all day.
That's probably
Kind of
true.
like you, actually, so I get it. Now, Ash is more up my alley.
You guys are so boring. Widowmaker is clearly the sexiest. I would love her to snuff the life out of me between her thick, muscly thighs. Just
This
imagine
AI
it.
is pretty good.
She also seems like the type to have an OnlyFans, and that's hot. You know it, I know it, everybody knows it.
I would
Is
have
that
said
what gets
both
you
of
off,
those
bro?
things.
Nah, there is something to that. Everyone loves a dommy mommy, and I respect Asmon's choice. Although May is pretty good, too. I like someone with a little meat on their bones.
Like Roadhog?
Make fun of me all you want. You have fun with your boring e-girl and leave us based May enjoyers alone.
Okay, forget all that. What do you guys think about Orisa? That's kind of creepy, bro. She's just a robot. That shit ain't stopping me, brother.
You realize she's the youngest character in the game, right?
What do you mean, bro? Here, I'll check right now.
Orisa Overwatch age. Jesus. That got weird pretty fast. Holy shit.
Yeah, I don't know too much about this guy. Chat kept telling me about him. His name's like Paul Breach. So I was gonna learn from Oompa